Today, we're talking with Johnny Maghzal, head of growth at Togal AI, about how AI won't replace you, but the person using AI will. Welcome to BeyondSaaS. I'm Jason Niedle, founder of Tethos. We're a growth agency, and we partner with tech companies to help deliver growth solutions and sales for over the last 20 years. So I put together a hyper-growth playbook, and that's at tethos.com/podcast, or you can drop the word growth, and I'll send it to you. More importantly, I'm happy to talk with Johnny here. He's head of growth at Togal AI, a pre-construction platform that automatically detects, measures, compares, labels project spaces on architectural plans and drawings. And this used to take hours, but now it takes just a few seconds with this tool. And this supercharges the takeoff process for builders so that they can close more bids faster. So I've heard you referred to as the rockstar AI expert, and I know you have a passion for empowering people with cutting-edge tools. So I'm excited to talk about growth and innovation and scale. I also hear you were an emergency rescuer for the Red Cross. So
Yeah.
wow, and thank you.
Wow, you did a lot of research on me, Jason. Thank you. I did actually. That was a really good experience. I did it in Lebanon, so we can talk about it.
I can't imagine the highs and the lows that must have entailed.
Yeah, and in Lebanon, it's a volunteering activity. So because again, the Red Cross finds gaps in every country of things they don't have, and in Lebanon, the government doesn't have an emergency rescuing department. So the International Red Cross built a local organization called the Lebanese Red Cross, and basically their most important thing, other than other things, is emergency rescuing. So car accidents, traumas, medical emergencies at home, not at home, all of these is covered under the Lebanese Red Cross. And it's an awesome organization because you have people like 18 years old running an operation on a street with 5 cars, an accident and 2 emergency cases. It's really, really impressive and super, super nice. So,
did that change your view of life, seeing all that?
Yeah, of course. Of course. You are very close to the edge all the time because you are working with these patients. Let's give you an example. Somebody had a big car accident and you are like moving them from the site of the accident to the hospital. They tell you stuff in that time frame between you picking them up to the hospital that they will not tell anybody in their life. You see, because they think they're gonna die or they think they're gonna be like at the edge of death, and they start telling you like crazy stuff. Yeah, yeah. I have a lot of what they call them, like things that I can share. Obviously, it's a super, super nice experience. And I did it. I was relatively old, like I was like 25 to 26.
25 years old.
Usually, the people who they start at 18, and at 22, he or she are driving the ambulance, which is the highest level in the organization, basically.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is wild.
All right, well, we're going to go from something super deep and meaningful to a golden nugget, which may not have the same depth and meaning, but
that is true.
I'm trying to throw our listeners a quick tip really fast.
So the golden nugget for me is recently, I know that people a little bit make fun of me. They tell me like, why don't you, for example, I think I have an addiction to social media. Thank God I don't have addictions to other stuff. But I do have an addiction to social media. And I truly believe, not like trying to throw the blame on somebody else, that these social media companies, they have figured out a way to make us addicted to their tools. And basically, I realized that I pick up my phone and I open my Instagram, I open my Facebook, my LinkedIn without even like knowing, you see, like a zombie. And I was like, holy, like, how am I doing this without even knowing? So I tried the screen time. You can, in your iPhone, put screen time, but that is like unlockable. You can just remove the password and continue. Then I found this thing. It's called The Brick. Basically, I don't know, I'm advertising for The Brick people. The Brick,
and for our listeners out there, he's holding up a little gray brick that's maybe 2 inches by 2 inches by like a half-inch thick or something like that.
It's
like a small.
Yeah, something like that. It's a post-it note. The idea of the brick is that to unlock the apps that you want to protect yourself from using involuntarily, the brick has to be physically there with you. So for example, I don't want to use my Instagram when I am at home. I leave the brick in the office. So if I get the urge to use my Instagram, I can't because it is bricked. I cannot put a password. I cannot do anything. So when I come in the morning in the office, if I need to see my Instagram for 5 minutes, I unbrick it, see my Instagram, brick it again, because even at work, I would be sitting and then like open my phone without even knowing that I'm opening the phone.
I'm not sure if this is terrifying or genius.
I don't know neither, but I really
But it works.
It works. Really, it works. Because again, without you knowing, you open the apps. And my friend tell me, just don't open the app, but it's not possible, you know? It's a social pacifier. If you are bored, you will open your Instagram, you start scrolling, and from that point, it's 2 hours without you knowing.
Amazing. All right. Well, that's a
Yeah,
super cool tip, and I have not heard that one before. So amazing.
that's good. Hopefully the brick people know that I gave them a free ad.
If you guys want to
Sure, bro.
sponsor, just look me up at tethos.com
Yeah, exactly. If they're looking for
or
sponsors,
Togal. Yeah.
or Togal, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So tell me about a little bit about Togal, by the way.
Yeah, so Togal is a construction software or construction tech. We came up with the idea from a construction company. So I used to work for, now it is the biggest construction company in Florida. They do around like 1.2, $1.3 billion of work a year. And I used to work for that construction company. The owners of the company are pretty visionary, and we were going back and forth, and the idea of Togal was born. And then with one of the brothers who run this construction company, we decided to start Togal AI. He's our CEO right now. His name is Patrick Murphy. And we started Togal. We were three people, and now we are like 42 people. We started the company in 2019. We started selling in 2022, so like 2.5 years ago. And yeah, we've been growing and growing and growing. And now we are on a path where like we found the recipe. We need to copy paste and scale the recipe basically.
I always think that's an interesting thing, right? You had to figure out your product, and you were there from the beginning.
Yep.
Then you had to get that product out there and realizing, okay, that doesn't work, that doesn't resonate, that does. Now, how do you have to change you and what you do to address this next phase?
100%. And I changed a lot. Like I'll give you some examples. So the customer or the user of Togal is an estimator. They are called construction estimators. And I did estimating for 3 years. Before that, I used to work on job site. But the main tool is for estimators. And I had used the tools that were already in the market, Jason. Like I have used them, I know them by heart, and I do this job for like 8 hours a day. My job was super important in the beginning on the product and engineering side, because I was working very close to with the engineering side and then with the product side. But then I had to move to sales and growth basically. And so first of all, this is a mindset shift. You are going from a product and like empathy to the user to sales, like how we bring more money to the company. So this is one. And then sales, when you have 2 salespeople and then you have 14 salespeople, is also a different mindset, you see?
Totally.
So I changed. I would say now I try to reinvent myself every 6 to 9 months because the company is growing very fast. As I told you, we started the sales team was 2 people. Now we have 14 people in the sales organization. And my job now is to empower the sales guys. You know, sales is too much about confidence and being like on top of it. So I try to make sure their mind space is in the right space. Like you have to be there, present, confident, a little bit arrogant, you know, not arrogant, I would say like look like an expert. So I work on their mind space. I work always on making sure we are improving our messaging when we are selling, you see. Don't waste time on this, don't waste time on this, and during the sales process. And now I also built the customer success team, which I'm hopefully gonna hand off to another person very soon, because again, customer success and sales are very two different things. And I've been handling them till now because again, the company was small, but eventually we'll have to divide them. So I have to like find somebody who I think will be able to do the customer success for our company, help them, mentor them, grow them, and then focus on the sales side. And then when I focus on the sales side, I have to focus on like, okay, I have these salespeople, how I'm gonna bring sales managers who's gonna manage in a specific way, and then we will copy paste the recipe. So in terms of reinventing ourselves, I try again, like every 6 to 9 months to be a different Johnny with a different mind frame when I come to the office.
That's amazing. And 2 to 14 is hypergrowth in that short amount of time. Like what used to be working and now isn't anymore?
That's super interesting. I can tell you what used to not be working, and then maybe that's easier for
They're
me.
both interesting. They're both, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, this is super, super interesting. Our name is Togal.ai or Togal AI. You search us, it's www.togal.ai. So when we started, Jason, we were a little bit naive. We were selling an AI tool. And when you sell an AI tool, people first, because when we started selling in 2022, AI was totally different than now. Like people now understand that you don't click a button and go to the beach, right? I live in Miami, so the beach is close. So people used to think that you come and click a button and then all your work should be done. So now the populists have been educated about how AI works, how you still have to do some part of the work. You're not like fully replaced. You are more augmented than replaced. So when we started selling, we were selling a lot with the AI, and the sell was too hard because people were expecting like Tom Cruise coming from a plane with a bunch of robots and doing your task for you.
Right.
And then after the sale, we were losing clients because they are saying, this didn't do this for me. You see, a funny example, Jason, is I had a guy who bought the tool and the next morning called me. He was like, Johnny, I don't want this tool. It's garbage. And I was like, why? He was like, because it didn't do what I wanted to do. I was like, what did you want it to do? And I turned it on at night and I put the drawings and it didn't do anything. And in the morning I came, it was the same. And I was like, what did you expect? And he was like, it's AI, it has to do everything for me. I was like, look, sir, $300 a month, I'll pay them back for you. It's okay. It's not
Right.
it's not gonna work out. So what we did is we changed the messaging. So we started telling people that, look, this tool is not gonna replace, you're not gonna click a button and go to the beach. Imagine it as a screwdriver. Like you have a screwdriver, but I have a power drill. You see, like I can do my task much faster, and that changed the game, Jason. Like we 5 times sales in like 6 months, literally just by changing a message. So this is what didn't work and now what worked. And now again, I make sure that we are selling a tool to what the user cares about, not because it's AI. You see, I feel that a lot of people want to build AI tools just because it's AI tools. What I say to the product team, let's see what is the pain of the user, and let's build a tool for the pain. And if the tool for the pain happen to have AI in it, there you go. Why not? That's the optimal place to be. But let's not start with AI and build a product for the user. Let's build the product that the user cares about and then incorporate AI in it. And this again helped significantly.
In marketing, I have to educate some of the prospects that messaging is that critical as well. Like you said, like the right messaging 5x your sales.
100%.
And I have these people who say, well, I have great technology. The messaging on my website doesn't matter, or my story doesn't matter, or what it looks like doesn't matter. And it's like, okay,
No, it doesn't work like that. I have another funny story. When I used to go to school, first degree was civil engineering. So I used to look at my friends like who used to take marketing majors and like naively make fun of them. Like, what are these people like taking marketing majors? And I think the most important thing for a company is marketing. If you don't know how to make the market perceive you in a way that aligns with everything else, then everything else will not work. You really need a good marketing message, good marketing, like the holistic mission of the company. So I do believe that from the bottom of my heart, you cannot sell if you don't have a good marketing message. So they all connect to each other, Jason. Like you have to have a good product, good engineering team, good sales, and good marketing. But the entry is through marketing. People need to know about you and then understand your message. And these happen with marketing.
Sounds like I need to hire you to be my salesman.
Okay, maybe. Let's do it.
So what percentage are you looking to grow this year?
To like last year, we grew 5 times. We want to like do another like 2 or 3 times from last year. So that's 3 times from last year, which was like 5 times from the year before. And hopefully we can do more. We are on track to do like the 3 times this year already. So hopefully we can do more.
Amazing. And what happens if you don't hit that goal?
We will have to reiterate. Obviously, there is so many factors that contribute to this growth, right? Like now with the tariffs, if like a big recession happens and the construction industry hits a break, we're gonna be like fooling each other if we're gonna say, oh, we're gonna grow the team, we're gonna grow the company. So if we don't, we're gonna keep reiterating. It's an infinite process. That's how I like to look at it. There is nothing you do and you just sit back and then like enjoy its fruits. It's an infinite process because growth is so quick, especially these days with technology. It's literally bananas. One day you have this tool and everybody's like talking about it, and then the second day there's this tool, and the tool that was there like a week ago now is obsolete. You see, like so it's
I know, it's
changing very
amazing.
fast.
Even if you just think like 2 years. 2 years ago, very few consumers had played with any form of AI. And
100%.
now you can't avoid it. It's on everything.
100%. Today I was talking to our head of marketing. Her name is Kelsey. And obviously I'm talking about sales. I am praising her because we are selling because of good marketing. But she said something, I'm trying to rephrase it. She was telling me that how like regular or traditional SEO doesn't work too much anymore, because now when you search, for example, what is the best way to do this on the browser, you get a summary. So people are looking at the summary now. They don't go to the website, you see? So you have to do something to appear in the summary instead of like just SEO for your website to be on top
Like
of.
maybe a podcast?
Exactly. So exactly. She told me you need to people to talk about you outside of you. You see, like you need to people to talk about Togal on G2, for example, or reviews or things like that, so that these algorithms put you in the summary. So see how much things are changing? It's just crazy.
Overnight.
Yeah.
So, as a salesperson, what's your biggest challenge? Is it filling the funnel with the right leads? Is it reaching the people? Is it getting their attention? Is it education? Like, what's
Yeah.
the constraint to sales besides the economy, obviously?
So for us in the construction industry, the biggest problem is adoption. But obviously, it is a mix of all the ones that you mentioned. You need enough leads. How do you get them? This is one. After you get the lead, how do you engage them and how you tell them the story? And the third one is obviously adoption. But I would say the hardest on the sales side is like finding the leads and finding good leads who understand your message and basically want to buy a tool that augments them instead of a tool that replaces them.
And your ideal customer profile is mostly construction estimators?
Construction estimators, but also these construction estimators can be like different personas. You have general contractor estimators, and then you have the trade estimators. An estimator that does drywall or gypsum board is totally different than an estimator that does concrete takeoff, and it's different from a flooring estimator. But construction estimators are our users, basically, final users. But the messaging and the sale for each of those, Jason, it's not totally different, but it is like different.
A lot of construction companies are averse to change and technology and growth. Are the estimators, do they fall in that area as well, or are they more technologically friendly?
They do unfortunately fall in that area. And estimators, I say it with all respect because I was an estimator, they are nerds. They are nerdy for their craft. And the tool that they use for quantity takeoff, which is the task we do, is a tool that you spend 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day in that tool. It's not like it's CRM, you access it 1 second, you get a number, you call them, you put a note. No. It's like AutoCAD. It's like you zoom in, zoom out, you're drawing all the time. Getting them to move from the tools that they have been using, it's tough. And these tools that they have been using have been created in 1994, and they literally looks like Windows 95, but they are robust because, again, imagine if you do your task on a tool for 6 hours a day, somebody comes present you with another tool, is very tough, especially if you are a busy estimator. And one thing about estimators, they are very expensive and very rare to find. So that makes them very busy. So if they are busy and they are relying on this tool for 10 years, asking them to move to a new tool is a little bit tough, but this is the adoption problem that I told you about.
So you're getting through that with educational campaigns? How are you doing that?
Educational campaigns, a lot of them. We are teaching in universities, so we are building courses in universities and
Smart.
working. Yeah, because then you get the students from the school, instead of being trained in like a tool, they are trained in Togal. And honestly, the company they come to,
They're
it's
going to
not
bring
that
it
they
with
don't
them.
care. They just want them to do their job as quick as possible. Education is a big thing for us, like to teach people what Togal can do and how it can do it better from the tool you've been using for 10 years is the biggest. Like, again, I said adoption, and this is what I meant with adoption. It's so tough.
So internally, what should you be doing that you're not as a company for faster growth?
So we are in a phase that all our pains are growth pains. So, for example, we don't have the process for this because, again, we were small. We don't have the process for that because we were small. So now we are hiring people, software developers and data engineers, to build things internally for us. The user will not even know about them. So this is something that we haven't been doing much because, again, we were very small. We hired, out of this 42 people, maybe we hired 20 in the last 6 months. You see? So
That's really rapid growth.
it's really rapid. We were small, and remember, we are construction people. We haven't done SaaS before, so we are learning kind of on the job. But yeah, that's something we are not doing enough of, is building internal tools that help us with our processes to scale.
And from a marketing perspective, how do you guys track the funnel and what's going on there? And like, are you doing outbound calls on your side of things, or are people pinging you for demos? And how does that work?
Well, as I said, we have two very good things. We have a very good head of marketing and we have very good access to marketing channels. Our CEO was an ex-congressman, so he has access to a lot of news outlets, a lot of magazines, because again, of the nature of his previous job. He served in Congress for 2 terms. So, for example, we are on CNBC, CNN. I'm sure messing up the name, but those big TV outlets, we are there. So this is driving a lot of traffic to our website, and we get around 30 to 35 demo requests a day
Wow.
to do a demo, and it's huge. Like,
That's
it's when I
impressive.
tell
Yeah.
other people we get 35 a day, they tell me, like, how are you doing it? That's it. We have a very good head of marketing, and we have good access to outlets like media outlets, and we are doing Google ads, YouTube ads, and we go to a lot of conferences. And in conferences, we drive messaging and people come to the website. We haven't done outbound calls yet. We just hired a person to start doing that. Again, funny enough, we grew this fast without outbound calls. So we rely heavily on traffic to the website, and we have optimized that really, really well.
I mean, 5 a day inbound is fantastic for a smaller company.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then we have also like email campaigns that we do other than marketing, the marketing traffic. We have email campaigns. We send like 2,000, 3,000 emails a day. And we try to, with the emails, drive people to the website. The nice thing about the emails is they can be more targeted than the ads. You see, like if you do YouTube ads, you can target people, but like not very granularly. With email campaigns, we target them very granularly to, again, drive them to the website. So we don't target people with emails to convert them to sales. We target them to convert them to the website. The website does a very good job in raising their interest and making them book a demo, and then they become an inbound. So most of our inbound, as I said, is from marketing, but there is a piece of it is from email outreach.
I love that.
Email and LinkedIn, actually. Email and LinkedIn. LinkedIn and email outreach are like killers.
Yeah, LinkedIn is so huge now, right? And then what are you guys doing in terms of educational campaigns?
So we have what we call Togal Academy, which is basically a set of courses where people can take to learn the tool. This is one. As I told you, we teach at universities. We are working with universities a lot. And we work with construction agencies. For example, there is an agency called ASPE, American Society of Professional Estimators. And they provide certificates for their members. And we participate in these certificates. We do that. And what we also do, when I do a lot of talks in universities, and we also give free licenses for students as well, even if they are not being taught a course. So if I go to any university, I tell them, if you reach out with the university email, you can get access for Togal for free, which we don't do for anybody. So we
Also
don't have free license.
super smart. Yeah.
So we give it to you if you come from an .edu email, we give you Togal for like 30 days, 60 days. Yeah, I think we want to do much more for that. We are trying to hire a community manager also, Jason, a community builder, somebody who can build an online community, drive people to the community, engage with the users. And again, when you do that community, things like explode exponentially, because now you have people who love your tool talking about your tool, and it's a totally different game from that point.
Yeah, third party is always the best.
Yep.
So what do we need to know as consumers out there? What do we need to know about AI?
What you need to know is you need to start learning what AI tools do. What I think people fall in the trap of, Jason, the big problem with AI is its name, artificial intelligence. The word drives a lot of emotions. I think if its name was something else, people will be more open to hear it, you see? But when you say artificial intelligence, over all my years, for example, 34 years, I watch movies and you see iRobot, blah, 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 it directly triggers a negative emotion that a robot is gonna come after you. So one problem with AI is its name. But what we should do is don't worry about how the neural networks work and what is a transformer and what is an LLM. You don't need to know any of this. Like now, AI engineers are not diving too deep into this because there's tools that do it very quickly for them. What you need to know is like, what are the tools that are out there that leverage AI, and try to use them and don't be afraid of them. For example, you have different tools for different tasks, but I want to emphasize on something. If you are a software developer, a marketing person, content creator, and software developer, marketing person, content creator. One more thing, if you are one of these four, like graphic designer, you definitely need to learn AI tools, because if you see what like Claude, ChatGPT and Gemini do for these industries, it's crazy. You see, like software developers are the quickest people who are going to lose their jobs, and they should shift to project managers more than software developers. So learn these tools. It's super easy to learn them. Like you can go and open a ChatGPT account and play with it and learn how to prompt it, things like that. Now the buzzword is agents. So people are confused. What is an agent? What is not an agent? So learn what is the difference between a language model, a workflow, AI automation, and an agent automation, which is the next level of it. But just use them as tools. And if they work for your company, use them. If they don't work, just throw them in the garbage. You see, like people overthink it. Just use these tools. If they work for your business, that's great. If they don't work, it's totally fine. Don't worry about them too much. And this is, again, super important. Like you can write content like crazy fast. You can create graphic designs crazy fast. Software developers, they're writing pieces of codes now. Like our CTO, basically, he has an internal goal to like 40-50% of the lines of codes we write are by AI. Things like this, people need to look into AI tools. Just don't worry what happens in the kitchen. Just look at the tool, interact with it with the user interface. If that user interface works, use it. If it doesn't work, throw it away.
I love it. So the times are turbulent. You mentioned tariffs might, impact your business. How are you planning to grow with all the changes coming up?
So there is a lot of unknowns, right? How do we plan to grow? So the first and most important thing for us is retention. In these markets, if the market is bad, who are your best people? Who are always your best people, even if the market is bad, is your current clients, because they are in the door, they are paying for the tool, they like the tool, and they are paying a renewal. They are renewing, you see? So as much as those are important in regular times, because if you don't know, a SaaS business relies on renewals, doesn't rely on new business. Usually new business loses money. Renewals is what make money for SaaS businesses. So we will double down on our existing users, making sure they are getting the value they want. Because again, you need cash flow in events like this. God forbid some big crash or big recession happens, and we will be able to keep our existing users, pamper them even more than what we do, and try to, again, keep that existing customer base. In terms of new business, this is where the unknowns are bigger, right? Like, what will happen? I don't know. A big crash and all construction jobs will be stopped. Then we really cannot get any new users. You see, if a certain part of the construction market stops, like for example, maybe luxury commercial apartments stops, then maybe there's other sides of the business like painters, home builders, dental. So we will have to adapt very quickly based on the situation. Yeah.
Any closing thoughts?
If you are somebody who is thinking about working in SaaS, like just trying to jump into SaaS, it's a very interesting time because you can do more with a little with less. That's a very interesting thought. But if you are trying to build SaaS and you want to jump into SaaS, it looks like a sexy on the outside. Building a SaaS business is not easy at all. It's super, super difficult because I work in construction, and construction is considered a difficult thing. But I think SaaS is even more difficult because a lot of times you don't see what's being built. You see, when you build a building, you can see it physically. When you have a software, like a lot of things in the software you don't see. This is a big learning for me. Like I always thought, like for Instagram, like very easy tool to build, but you have a village behind Instagram of engineers and product managers, and in this case, psychologists, right? They want me to stay on the tool.
Yeah.
Psychologists, neuroscientists, they want you to stay hooked on the tool. So building a SaaS, it's a really, really tough, but a really nice thing because you have to put your product outside very quickly, learn, iterate, and see what the user like, what they don't like, and iterate and have an engineering team that quickly can iterate and come back with new tools. It's a really, really nice world to be in, but it is super tough to be in as well.
Awesome. And where can our audience look you up?
You can find me on LinkedIn. My name, Johnny Maghzal, Maghzal, or go to our website, www.togal.ai, or Instagram. I am everything. All my accounts are public. So if you type my name, I think on Google, Johnny Maghzal, you're going to find me easily. Now I have some patents under my name with Togal, obviously. So that was exciting too. So yeah, Google me, LinkedIn, Instagram, or on our website, you can find me easy.
Perfect. And that website for you listeners out there is togal.ai. Johnny, I really enjoyed this. Thank you for being on Beyond SaaS. For our tech leadership out there, we're committed to exploring growth. So we drop episodes twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And you can find me, Jason Niedle, at tethos.com. Don't forget to grab that playbook at tethos.com/podcast. If you got some value today, please share this with a friend. And I love questions, comments, and feedback. I appreciate that. Until next time, this is Beyond SaaS.